All right, everybody, happy Thanksgiving week. It is Wednesday, November 24th, workout time. So starting off, we have three different kind of workouts today. So we have a warm-up, we have some conditioning, and then we have a finisher to get through. So try and make sure you're getting through all three of these. So we're gonna start out with a warm-up, 3 rounds of 15 heel to toe. So heel to toe, right, when you're doing these, you're gonna peel. You gotta maybe zoom in on my feet here. You gotta peel your big toes off the floor, right? And then we're looking for you to rock up on your toes. Off your toes, on your toes. So thinking just big range of motion with those feet. What that does is stretch out your calves. That's pretty obvious, but it does help stretch out your arch if those arches ever get sore, and it does help with the shins, the front side of the leg that way too. Once we're done there, 10 soldiers, I'm gonna try and take my right hand and touch it to my left toe here. So it's basically just a toe touch in place. That's not happening for you. You could just try and get there, maybe not a full touch. And if you need to, you could go elbow to knee. So I'm gonna do more of a crunch there. So that's stretching out the posterior. It is a little core work that way. And then we're doing 5 burpee push-ups. So when I do a burpee push-up, I can either step back or snap back. And then I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna do a push-up and get back up on my feet. So what I'm gonna do, I can snap back, right? High plank position, push up, snap up, and stand up, or I could step back. So I could step back, get to that high plank position. If I need to, I can drop down to those knees, do my push-up, back up to my high plank, and then I can stand up, right? That's gonna get your heart rate up a little bit. It's also a total body movement when it comes to that. So 3 rounds of those 3 different movements for the warm-up. Then we're gonna move on to the conditioning for today. So it's 3 rounds for time. What we have is 20, and this is gonna be a lot of core, so make sure we're really focusing on keeping our core locked in. We can get lazy, we can start going up into more of a pike, getting our hips up into the air, which looks like this position here when I start doing some of these movements, or I could get those saggy hips where I'm starting to expose that lower back to some pressure there and get my core out of control. So what we have is 4 different movements for today that we're gonna be popping through. So 3 rounds for time, 20 high plank hip taps. Okay, I'm in this good strong high plank position. Notice my core is nice and locked in. I'm gonna pull that hand back and touch that same hip. Okay, try not to sway too much so I'm doing any of this. Try to keep that core nice and controlled. Can't touch those hips. You can always touch those shoulders. Can't touch those shoulders, just simply bring your hands up off the floor. That's still gonna do a lot of work on your core that way. Once I'm done there, I'm going into 20 mountain climbers. So high plank position. Remember, control on these. They don't have to be the fastest thing ever. I'm driving my knees up towards my elbows, right? 1, 2, right? So each time you touch your knee, your elbow is a rep. Once I get done with those 20 mountain climbers, I'm doing 10 plank to pike. So make sure we're not bending our elbows when we do those. When we do these, this is not the purpose. So starting that high plank position, I'm really gonna stay here. I'm gonna drive my head through. You're gonna feel the stretch in your calves, your hamstrings, your glutes, and your lower back. And I'm headed back to that high plank position. Pike, plank. 10 of those. And then I'm gonna roll over to the back side. And this is a stationary hold. So make sure you're doing it with very high quality. Dead bug hold. Arms straight up towards the ceiling. Knees straight up from my hips. Have a little gap between your feet, between your knees. And I'm just gonna hold here. What I want you to concentrate on doing, right? Dr. Joe would tell you this too. Drive your lower back into the floor. Don't arch your back this way. So my shoulders are on the floor, my hips are on the floor, but try to make a little contact with that lower and mid back while we're doing these, okay? If this seems fairly easy to you, just drive your knees further away from you, okay? And it'll definitely increase the tension on that hold. So 3 rounds for time of that very core-centered Metcon when it comes to that. And then we have a finisher for today, and it's 4 time with high intensity. So just call this something like earn your stuffing or something like that. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving, so enjoy time with your family. Enjoy the food, right? Try not to eat too much of it, but use this as just a way to kind of earn the extra food that you might be having tomorrow. Just a mindset that I have when it comes to stuff like this. So your finisher for today, it's 1 time through, and it's basically just 2 movements, right? It's 10 air squats, it's 20 burpees. You could sub out those burpees. You could be doing some snap ups. You could be doing some up downs, whatever you prefer that way, and then finishing off with 10 air squats. Goal is to keep this under 3 minutes. Some of you might be able to get through this in 30-40 seconds. Some of you might take 1.5 minutes, but the upper time frame is 3 minutes. So if you need to scale it down, go ahead and do so. But I'm gonna start off with 10 air squats, right? 10 as fast as I can, then I'm gonna move on to 20 burpees. So ideally with those burpees, chest and quads hit the deck, snapping up and stand up. If I need to modify that movement, I could go to an up down, which is starting tall, high plank, back tall again, right? right? So that is my up down, or I could go to snap ups where I stay in this high plank position and I snap my feet up and snap them back. Snap my feet up, snap them back. Maybe you're somebody that can do 5 burpees and then you can do 10 up downs and then you finish with 5 more burpees. Challenge yourself that way. And then the last movement for this finisher is 10 air squats. So 10 air squats, 10 air squats, 20 burpees of your choice, and finishing off with 10 air squats again. High intensity on that one. Try to keep your heart rate high and just try to keep working hard throughout that movement. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, everybody.